Hi, my name is Melissa Smith. Most people call me Missy. The pronoun, I'm divorced, so it would probably be Ms. Um, I'm actually pretty quiet and shy. Um, I was actually worse when I was a kid. I was very painfully shy when I was a kid, so I have grown out of it a lot. Still get a little nervous when I have to talk in front of a group, so um, this does make it a little bit easier. Um, if I was standing in front of an actual classroom, I would probably not be doing so well. Um, I live in Louisville, Kentucky, so that's in the Eastern time zone. The reason I chose Kent is because I have actually been in therapy myself for the past almost a year. It'll be a year next month. Um, I was in a abusive relationship with a raging alcoholic. Um, he had actually kind of snuck in during a very dark period of my life. Um, I had found one of my very dear friends dead. We had been on the phone with each other, and she actually died while we were on the phone. I didn't realize it until I heard her dogs barking, and I couldn't get her to answer me, so I went to check on her and found her. And I went through a very dark depression. And then right about the time that I met him, I was still depressed about that because I never went and got any help. Um, but about that same time that I met him, I was also starting to get depressed because my daughter was in her senior year, and it was my baby, and she was leaving me and going to college, and so I was going to be alone for the first time ever. And so I was scared about that, and so he snuck in and said all the right things, and um, no sooner than we got married, his true colors showed up, and it only lasted a year and a half, but it was the longest year and a half of my entire life, and the only reason it lasted a year and a half is because I wanted to help him, and I wanted to. I just felt like I could, and obviously I couldn't. He didn't. He wasn't ready. So he was not drinking when we first got together. He didn't start drinking until we got married. Well, I mean, he was recovering when we first got together, and then he started drinking when we got married. So, um, should rephrase that. But after we divorced, I got into therapy, and once I started getting better in therapy, we did finally start talking about what I wanted to do. I had kind of lost interest in the business field, um, and gained an interest in the social work field because, the whole addiction thing I really want to know why people get like that, and I want to understand it, and I want to help the people that want to help themselves, and I'd also like to help people that are victims of domestic violence because I've lived that, and I, I realize I realize how hard that is, and um, so um, that's the reason I chose Kent, and my therapist actually graduated from Kent, so I applied, I got in, and I'm very happy that I did. Um, my bachelor's is in business, so I expect that I'm going to learn a lot of stuff that I did not know. So, the social justice related issue I'm passionate about is obviously going to be addiction related, also domestic violence related. I'm also going through something personal um, that's gender related. Um, the job that I've been at for 18 years, has, when I got my bachelor's degree last year, I went to the president of the company, told him that I got my bachelor's degree, and he told me that there would be opportunities for me at the company. And 18 months later, I'm still waiting. There still has not been anything. And not only that, but when I had my review that in December, that was absolutely wonderful. I had an excellent review in December, talking about what a great employee I was, and I didn't even get a raise. So, but yet I have watched them hire in 4 or 5 males to do jobs that, with my education experience, I was perfectly capable of doing. So it's incredibly frustrating, and it has completely ruined any hope that I had of ever staying with that company. So once I get accustomed to the schedules at school, I'm going to start looking for another job, and I'm going to leave the company. So the only other thing I would like to say is I do have 2 daughters. One is 21, one is 25, that I love dearly. I also have a son who I did not give birth to. It's actually my youngest daughter's half brother. It would be my first husband's son, and his real mother is actually a drug addict and an alcoholic. He lives with me most of the time. I've been raising him. I've been mom from the time he was a toddler. So I want all of my children to know, whether I've given birth to them or not, that it doesn't matter how old you are. It's never too late to change your life. So I'm looking forward to getting to know everyone, and I'm looking forward to a good semester. Thanks.